Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in and take a seat, I guess, sitting at your computer, your phone, wherever you're joining me from. Welcome and let me know where you are joining me from. I am in Chicago. It is an overcast, wintry-ish day here, but it's still a good day. So come in, let me know where you're joining me from. And I'm Carol C.C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chats, where the intention is to focus on heightening your celebrations and lessening your sorrows through a positive focus. Before I get started, I do like to mention a couple of things, and definitely in comments, let me know if you're new. I love welcoming in new people to our community. But I do like to go over a couple of things. And the first is I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good, bad. There's 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is always right for 7 billion people. So I work on a scale of 0 to 100, 0 being always negative and 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody who is at a 0 or at a 100. I know people who are closer to 0 and closer to the 100. So my daily practices are to stay in the 80 to 100% of love, kindness, compassion, and peace 80% of the time. That means fear visits me, frustration visits me, anger, disappointment, unworthiness, all of those normal feelings that we have visit me. I just, because of my daily practices, I don't let them move in. I feel what I need to feel and move forward to feeling a little bit better. So that's something to keep in mind as we go through our conversations. If you are an always or never person, that's okay. If that works for you, then go with it. It does not work for me. I don't know anybody who is always bad or always good. We all have different things within us, different hurts, different celebrations and sorrows that we're going through on a daily basis. So that's why I work in the majority of the time I am kind. The majority of the time I am positive. The majority of the time I am loving, compassionate, and peaceful. The second thing I like to mention is I am a coach. I love supporting people on living their best life, whatever that looks like. I am not a counselor, nor am I a therapist. And sometimes in order to live your best life, that type of support is what you need to do so. I just know you're worthy of living your best life. So if it's counseling, therapy, coaching, whatever type of support that's going to help you move forward to live your best life, I encourage you to do so. So I'm going to step into comments really quickly and then go on with the conversation for the day, then go back to comments, and then end the discussion for today. I'm going to do it a little differently than normal. Usually I pick a word to discuss, define it, come up with an affirmation, and then tips to use it. Today, I don't really have a word to define, but we do have a topic on rising above fear. I suppose I could define fear, but why? Why give it that energy and power to move forward with? So let me see who is here joining us. I love the fact that our community is global and there's usually people from all over the world here. Good morning, Terry. Good morning. I think you said your name was Ginger. And Janice, hello. Good to see you. Shelly, Lynn. I hope I say this right. Shami. People have not said where they're joining me from, so I'm assuming you're all over the place. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's topic, rising above fear. I woke up in a space of fear this morning because of what's going on in the world, what's going on in so many people's lives, and it doesn't feel good to me. So I wanted to discuss how we rise above the fear and how we focus on what we want in our lives more than focusing on what we don't want. And sometimes the don't wants is super heavy. So we're going to talk about that too. Northern Ireland is in the house, Staten Island. Ginger from Phoenix. Hello there, Ginger from Phoenix. Is it the Ginger that I know from Phoenix or a different Ginger from Phoenix? I'm not sure, but I did want to go over something that I wrote this morning, and then we're going to talk about ways to incorporate it into moving through our own fearful experiences that we're going through, or the world experiences. Because when we stay in a space of the fear, of anger and frustration, again, they are not wrong, they are not bad. It's how much attention and energy do you want to give to them. And I'm not an always or never person. So when I am focused on fear for me, I am not focused on solutions. I am not focused on love, kindness, compassion, or peace. I'm focusing on what I don't want. And I'm focusing on giving that the energy of what I don't want. So I hope that makes sense to you. But let me go over really quickly what I wrote today, and then we will get into the conversation. I find stepping into fear easily and being led by love harder, especially when fear is screaming. Fear is screaming war. Fear is screaming trans kids don't matter. Fear is screaming white supremacy. Fear is screaming separation. Fear is screaming unhealthy power. Fear is screaming you are not worthy. Fear is screaming others are out to get you. Fear is screaming that love and kindness are weak. Sometimes fear screams so loudly that you begin to think it's winning. And it might win for a moment in time. It might win some people over to its side, believing you have to be cruel and take advantage of people to get ahead. It wants to numb you from the pain, so you keep feeding its energy. Fear feeds off of keeping you stuck and small. And you know why fear keeps screaming? Because it's scared of itself. Suppose it were to be still, quiet, and reflective. Even if it was just for a moment, it would lose its power. Oh, fear, you must be tired of all the energy you expend to keep going. Fear, you may beat me on occasion, but you will not win me over. I love you. I see you. I will rise above you, especially when it's hard. Love reminds me to take positive, kind, compassionate, and peaceful action. Love reminds me that kindness and compassion are my superpowers. Love reminds me that it's okay to be afraid, as love is right there with me in those moments. Love reminds me that people do awful things to others because of their own deep fears. Love reminds me that when I am filled up with love, the thought of hurting others isn't even in my realm. Sending love out to all in harm's way. I love you. I see you. You matter in this beautiful and messy world. So I really want to talk about, like right now with what's going on in Ukraine. I'm in the U.S., so I know of a lot of things that are hurtful and harmful that are going on here. There are things hurtful and harmful probably going on wherever you live in this, again, beautiful and messy world. So it's not about pretending that things are rainbows and unicorns. I would love to pretend that and not feel the heaviness of the hurtful actions that are happening. But they are happening. They are part of our world. They are part of our lives. Probably people who are here on this community chat today are going through some heavy things in your own life. So it's not about pretending they don't exist. It's about bringing love, kindness, and compassion to those hard places in our life. So I do want to use an affirmation for today. And if you're new to affirmations, it's a statement that you make. It's not positive or negative. It's just something you affirm. You could affirm things you don't like about yourself. You can affirm things you do like about yourself. So the affirming what you do like is going to be a positive affirmation. However, if you affirm, I am incredibly smart, and then immediately think of all the things you've done in the last week that were not smart, you have negated it. So it's no longer a positive statement for you. So you want your affirmation to be believable, and it can be a stretch from where you are right now, but you don't want to immediately negate it, because what the affirmation is doing is to help replace all the thoughts that are in our heads that we have learned for years, whether it's teachers, from ourselves, parents, things that we're holding within us that we make decisions from that aren't necessarily true, often aren't true, but we're using that negative self-talk that is just back there. And I promise you, it takes work to replace it. But that's where affirmations come into place, where you keep affirming what you want rather than what you don't want. So if you find you're saying what I'm going to give you today as an immediately no, that's not true, then I would encourage you to rewrite it into something that works for you, or use I'm in the process of. So today's affirmations are: I choose love. I choose compassion, and I choose peace. I choose love, I choose compassion, and I choose peace. Or I'm in the process of choosing love. I'm in the process of choosing compassion. I'm in the process of choosing peace. Find what works for you and move forward from there. So today's tips on rising above fear is pretty much almost always my very first tip of the day is to feel your feelings. Pretending you're not afraid, pretending you're not angry, pretending you're not feeling unworthy or any of those things just puts them aside for a moment, but it doesn't help dissipate them. So when you're pretending, like I do believe in the statement, fake it till you make it, but it's a nuanced thing. So if you're pretending that you're not upset with what's going on in the world, or you're not upset with what's going on in your own life, it's probably going to come and bubble back up later. So feel your feels. Know that it wants to be heard. Know that it wants to be witnessed and seen, and that's going to help dissipate it. It may not go away all at once. Depends on how big the situation is that you're going through. But the more that you say, I see you and I love you, the more you're going to lessen the hold, fear, anger, frustration, all of those emotions that have over us. Again, they're not wrong to feel them. It's how much time and how much energy and power do you want to give them to, because I do believe what I focus on, I'm giving it the energy to grow. Does it mean I never focus on fear, frustration, anger, unworthiness? Yes, I do focus on those sometimes. But because I'm aware of how it feels and it doesn't feel good to me, I step into doing something to feel a little bit better, depending on how strong the energy is. Sometimes it's a quick, oh, I'm focused on the wrong thing. And it shifts me into focusing on gratitude, on appreciation, on thankfulness, on excitement and joy, and all those types of things. Sometimes it takes longer, like with the heaviness of what's going on right now, it takes a little bit longer to move through it. But it is moving through it when you acknowledge it, say thank you for being here, and moving forward to feeling a little bit better. My second tip is to remember what you have control over and what you don't have control over. I don't have control over world issues. I don't have control over world poverty, world injustice, or any of those things. I have control over how I can participate or not participate in them. So when I get overwhelmed, which I do, I promise you, I get overwhelmed on things that are going on in the world, I bring it back to what can I do? I can share my smile. I can share kind words. Maybe I donate money to organizations that are doing something to help people. But if I stay focused on the hurt that people are going through, I am feeding that energy of the hurt. I am not bringing it forward into feeling a little bit better. Again, please remember, I'm talking about the majority of the time. There are situations that maybe focusing on hatred, fear, and all that stuff, maybe it does work. It does not work for me. So I'm just sharing what does and does not work for me. So I cannot be angry enough to bring peace to people. I cannot be sick enough to make people well. So it's about how do I want to show up in the world? How do I want to be in the world? And what can I do to contribute to the world I want to live in? I want to live in a kinder world. I want to live in a more loving world. I want to live in a more peaceful and compassionate world. So what can I do to step forward into that space rather than into the unkindness, the chaos, the wars, and all the stuff that fear brings up for people? Again, fear, when we feed it, is just going to grow. When we acknowledge it and see what it is there to do to keep us small, to keep us feeling unsafe, to keep us feeling separated from each other, we're giving it that energy. But when we acknowledge it, then it slowly starts to dissipate. Could be a long time. Like I said in what I wrote today, fear does win for a while, and I don't know when it's necessarily not going to win. I don't know that it's possible to have 100% peace in the world or in your own life. I really don't know that it is possible. I do think it's possible to have it the majority of time in your life, whether that majority is 60%, 70, 80, 90, 98%. You get to focus on what you want to grow in your life. So I encourage you to do that. And then to send love. Send love, 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 love. Love and worry cannot happen at the same time. When I woke up worried about Ukraine or worried about other issues that are going on in the world, I am in a lower energy. It's common, it's understandable to worry about things. I'm not saying never worry, because it is understandable. Things are hard and it's easy to go into the energy of worry. However, it's a lower energy. So when you find yourself in the space of worrying about something or afraid of something, acknowledge it and step into sending love. I encourage you right now to send love to yourself, send love to your family, your friends, your colleagues, your boss. Send love to people who frustrate you. Send love people who have harmed you. Send love to the people who are harming others. It's not about pretending what they're doing is okay, but it is about stepping and rising above it and sending love. There are consequences to things for sure. I don't have control of those consequences to people who are doing global issues. But what I can do is send love and to see the highest place. I really do believe that when we're harming other people, it's from our own deep insecurities and wounds that we have not healed. There's also psychoses that can create that as well. So it's not an all or never situation. But I do believe if we knew the background, the story of who may have harmed us personally, if we knew their story, we could have some compassion. Does not mean that we agree with what they do. It does not mean that we're okay with what they did, but it does mean we can find some compassion for where they came from in order to grow that. So when you get frustrated and you're frustrated at a person, I promise you, I still get frustrated at people. I get frustrated in what's going on in the world. I tend to want to go hug every single human being in the world. Can't quite do that, but I'm working on it. So I just send love, energy of love to people. And it's hard to send energy of love to people that you don't like. I promise you that too. But it's going to help you more. And it's certainly going to help them more to have more loving energy in the world than fearful, worrisome energy. Even if fear and worry is there's reasons for it. There's certainly reasons for it, but it's also a reason to rise above it and bring more of what you want in the world out. If you want to live in a kinder world, be kinder in your world. Not asking you to solve the world issues, but what can you do in your place in the world to bring kindness? You can smile. You can share a kind word. You can offer a hug. Global Hug is coming up in September. You can join me. There's so many things that you can do from your space in the world to bring kindness forward. If you want a more loving world, be more loving in your world. If you want more compassion in your world, be more compassionate in your world. And again, compassion does not mean if mean, awful things are happening. It does not mean they're okay. It doesn't mean they're excused. It means they're looking behind what's going on and seeing where they're coming from that created that situation. There's still consequences. If you hurt somebody, there's consequences to it. If you hurt yourself, there are consequences to it. So it's about seeing beyond that, bringing in love, bringing in compassion and kindness to any situation. It might be being quiet for a moment. It might be standing up strong. It's whatever you can do to soften your own heart so it's not feeling so heavy with whatever you may be going through. So I encourage you, send love, love, love. When you're beating yourself up, send yourself some love. Maybe start affirmations. I'm in the process of loving myself more. I'm in the process of trusting myself more. I'm in the process of believing in myself more. I'm a firm believer that if we are personally filled up with love, then we are not going to harm ourselves and we're not going to harm others. And again, it's the majority of time. There are people out there who are hardwired to harm. So it's not talking about that that's going to solve everything. But I do believe that having more love, kindness, compassion, and peace in the world would solve the majority of things that you personally are going through and that we are globally going through. So I encourage you today to just put your hands on your heart, and I want you to close your eyes and do this exercise with me. And I want you for just a moment, I don't want you to live here, but I do want you to invite in whatever you're afraid of in this moment, whether it's something personal you're going through, or if the news of the day has you afraid or anything, just invite it in for just a moment because it wants to be heard and it wants to be acknowledged. So just take a second and think about those things that have you discombobulated and maybe feeling. I've seen lots of people on social media today saying their hearts are broken. My heart is heavy. My heart isn't broken, but my heart is heavy right now because of these things. So just bring that in. And then I want you to, while you're thinking about it, is whatever color makes you happy. Yellow makes me happy. So many colors make me happy. But take a moment and just envision over your heart and over that fear that is right there in your heart, that it is surrounded by this bubble of what whatever color brings you joy and happiness, and just see it surrounded in love, and see that space in your heart being filled up with love. Just take a moment and do that. And then I want you to expand that loving bubble to surround you completely from your toes to the top of your head. And just see that bubble growing in size, whatever color it is. Maybe it's like I have all sorts of colors of sticky notes behind me. Maybe part of it, maybe it's polka dots, that bubble that you've got around you. I don't really care what it looks like, long as you are envisioning it to be filled with love, filled with kindness, filled with compassion and peace for you, for whatever has you afraid right now. And just send it love and see that you are surrounded by love and you are safe from love. Now I want you to take that bubble and expand it to your living environment, and that you're safe there. And then expand it to your city, expand it to your state, expand it to your country, and expand it to your world. And just focus on the love around you. And I encourage you to do this practice anytime that fear starts taking over. Again, fear, anger, frustration, disappointment, unworthiness, all of those things are not bad. They are part of our human experience that we're going to go through. But how much attention do you want to give it? How much time and energy do you want to give it? Take inspired, loving, kind, compassionate, and peaceful action today in your thoughts and in your words. When you start thinking about things that have you scared, turn it around. How can I approach this situation from a solutions base rather than a blame, shame, complain base? When we're in blame, shame, and complain, most of us, maybe some people, do come up with solutions in that space. My guess is when you're coming up with solutions in blame, shame, and complain, you're coming at them with a heavier energy than when you say, this isn't how I want to feel. I want to feel loving. I want to feel kind. I want to feel compassionate, and I want to feel peaceful. When you're in that space of energy, the solutions are going to be filled with more love, kindness, compassion, and peace. So that's what I have for you today. With my heavy heart to yours, I wish you love, kindness, compassion, and peace, and to keep focusing on when worry, fear, anything that has you feeling less than shows up in your life, and it will, just be gentle with it. It wants to be acknowledged. It wants to be witnessed. It wants to be seen. And the more that you try to pretend it doesn't exist, probably the more it's going to say, hey, I'm right here. I want you to talk to me right now. So just be gentle with yourself. Send out love to yourself. Send out love to the people that you don't like in this world. Send out love to the people you do like in this world. Let's try to love up the world, one thought, one word, one action, one hug at a time, and see if we can bring some more love to the world. Because I do believe there is more love in this world than there is fear. But right now, fear is wanting to take our attention away from being here for each other. So I love you. I'm going to come into comments. I was going to talk about priorities today, so I will talk about that next week. And also let me know if you have anything that you would like me to talk about to bring little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to your world, because the more we live in ourselves, the more that we're going to create it around us as well. So let me see. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. How can I obtain all your knowledge? Oh, thank you, Amy. Be here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays with me, Amy. And my knowledge is not mine. It's a shared knowledge around the world. So I am here to hopefully bring it to light and to focus on it more, but it is not mine to own for sure. Bridget, good to see you here. And I did all this without tears. I'm quite proud of myself. Lynn, good to have you here. Hello, Rachel. There's no room for blame, shame, and complain. And it's an emotion that we feel. Shame is a massive word for me. As if you joined me before, you know I'm very word sensitive. So I don't use shame because it's such a strong word for me. But I can certainly get into blame, and I can certainly get into complain. And both of those don't feel good to me either. So I think, okay, if I'm in because sometimes you get into complaining about something and you don't even realize it. You're just on a roll. They did blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying venting about something isn't helpful because it gets it out of your body. But be aware. Let your friend know. It's like, hey, I just need to talk about this right now. I'm not even looking for a solution. I just need to get it out. But you want to do it from a space that you're doing it to get it out rather than to grow it, if that makes sense. But when I notice that I go into blame or complain, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to step into love right now, because blame is not going to get me anywhere. Even if the person I am blaming is responsible for what has me upset, that's still energy I don't want to own. That is their energy. They get to live the way they choose to live. I suspect if people are blame shaming and complaining, it's an unhealed hurt within themselves. The majority of the time, there may be people that don't have empathy, so they're able to do those things without thinking about what they're doing. But it's really about, who do you want to show up as today? Who do you want to be today? And what kind of world do you want to live in? My guess is you don't want to live in a world filled with blame, shame, and complaint. If you do, have at it. That's not my world. So I encourage you to remind yourself, when you're focused on what you don't want, is that the world you want to live in? And how can you today take a step to live in the world you want to live in? Now, me, I am focused more on a global thing, so I do things a little differently. But I promise you, sharing a smile to a stranger, sharing a smile, just smiling during your day, maybe you're not around a lot of people, but that energy is out there. Sharing a kind word, share a kind word on social media instead of a blaming, shaming, and complaining word. There's so many little things that you can do individually that is going to create more love in your life. And again, I really do believe if we're filled up with love, so that's why I say I am not loving the majority of the time. If I was 100% loving, what is going on right now would not hurt me, because I would not be able to process it, because there would be no room in me for that. So it's really about being that the majority of the time. And when I am more filled up with love, then I am able to express more love. When I'm more filled up with fear, I'm probably going to express my fear more. So it's, who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? And what type of world do you want to live in? So that is where we've got for a day. Trying to say, I don't think I've missed anybody else. Hello, Sylvia. And there's a few people that, yes, praying for Ukraine from Lauderdale, by the sea in Florida. I was in Florida in January. Winnipeg, Canada is in the house. So, oh, it is Ginger, my friend who took me to see wild horses in Arizona a few years ago. Hello, Ginger. I did not know that name of yours on here. So if I've missed anybody, I apologize. Sometimes I don't see all the comments. I do come back later in the day and look. If you have any questions regarding this topic, again, it's a heavier topic. I'm hoping I'm bringing light to the topic, but there's a lot of things going on in this world right now that wants you to focus on fear. And fear gets fed by fear. Fear gets fed by you giving it energy to grow. So I'm not asking you to pretend. I certainly don't want you to pretend that what's going on in the Ukraine is not going on. What I want you to do is bring love, kindness, compassion, and peace to it within your thoughts, within your words, and within your actions. If you have the capacity to do something physically to help the situation, probably you don't. I know I don't, but you can do things within your own heart to help. When you are focused on the anger and the frustration and the disappointment of what's going on, feel it, because it's absolutely understandable to be hurt and angry and sorrowful for what's going on right now. But you're feeding that energy too. So acknowledge it, thank it for being there, and focus on what you do want in the world. Maybe it's donating some money to organizations that are doing what they can to support the families of Ukraine right now. Maybe, and I know it can be hard to send love to the people that we have perceived as our enemies, but please do that too. I think when I hear of things going on in the United States, and again, I live in the United States, when I travel abroad and hear people's perception of the United States, it just reminds me, we are individual people. Our countries, our leaders may be doing things that the majority of people in that area don't agree with. So don't see all of the people doing these things as being in the wrong. because you don't know where they stand. You know the powers that be where they stand, but you don't necessarily know where individuals stand. That's why I like to see the world as one person 7 billion times. I might look at, well, I don't personally, but you might be able to look at a religion or a nationality or something and be afraid of them because of how the leaders act. But it's hard to be afraid of one person. So look at one person 7 billion times rather than seeing the world as 7 billion people. I hope that helps. And I don't know that I see any more questions here? Oh, the sun is setting in London, Sylvia. Janice, it's so good to see you here. Janice is one of my best days. And I mean, I love talking to all of you, first of all. And I think the power of social media, without Facebook, I would not have been able to connect with millions of people around the world and spread my global hug event. So I am grateful for that. And that's on my bucket list, is to meet as many of my global huggers as possible. But it's always fun to see people that I actually know in reality too. And some of you, even though I don't know you personally, have been with me for a while. So I know you through the ethers of the internet. So I am grateful for that. Yes, more hugs. Absolutely. Lynn, if you're a hugger, I will be promoting it soon. So please sign up for Global Hugs May 9th through the 11th. And it's just to spread love, love and kindness, one hug at a time around the world. So, yay, it's good to see you too, Gina. So that's what I have for you today. Again, if you have any more questions about this topic, I know it's a heavy one. And if you're going through something personally heavy for your own life and your own fears and your own worries, hand on your heart, fill it up with love, and keep sending yourself love. I can't take away hard experiences in your life, but I can make them easier to move through with love, kindness, compassion, and peace for yourself and for others. So when you get into that space of being angry what's going on or afraid of what's going on, feel it and then send love. Feel the frustration, send love. Feel the anger, send love. Feel the disappointment, send love. Feel the unworthiness, feel that you're not doing enough, that's my issue. Send love. Do what you can from where you are with what you have to bring in more of the world that you want to live in. Hi, Tina. It's so good to see you as well. I had a lot of people come in today, of people I know. So wonderful, wonderful. That is what I have for you today. Let me go back over the affirmations. I choose peace. I choose love. I choose, what were my affirmations for today? They're usually the same. Oh, I choose love, I choose compassion, and I choose peace. Or I'm in the process of choosing love. I'm in the process of choosing compassion, and I'm in the process of choosing love or peace. And remember, even the people who are doing harmful things in the world or to you, if you knew their backstory, the majority of the time, you would be able to find some compassion there. Does not negate what they're doing. It does not make what they're doing okay, but it can bring compassion into it. The more we focus on who we want to be, how we want to show up, and what type of world we want to live in, we're going to create from that. If we're focused on how we don't want to be, how we don't want to show up, and the world we don't want to live in, we're going to create more from there too. So thank you so much for being here. I am honored to be here with you. I'm so grateful for this community. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Keep that bubble going around you. Fear will try to jump into that bubble. Don't worry about it. Just see it, be gentle with it, and love yourself up. Love, 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 love. It's not necessarily going to shift things for you in a moment, but it is going to support you in being the person you want to be, creating the world you want to live in. So I love you. Have a safe, compassionate, kind, loving, peaceful rest of your day. When fear visits, be gentle, move forward to feeling a little bit better. I will see you next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Priorities will be one of the topics. I do not know what other topics will be yet, but it will be something to heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So take care. If you have topics you want me to talk about, I put them in comments and I will add them to my list. Right now, my list has 0 community topics. So there are things that are just bubbling up in my head. So just let me know what you would like me to talk about next week. And again, I love you so much. Thank you. Remember, you matter in this world. You matter to you. You matter to the world. And most, I just totally messed that up. You matter to me, you matter to the world, and you matter to you. So take care of yourselves. Hands on heart, send out love. I love you. We'll talk soon. So long for now.